Hello, lighthouse keepers. We need to work on our lighthouse today and complete the top of it where the lens goes. So what we're going to do is we are going to just work on this right here, this top part and the bottom part. Now, what you received in your art bag was an assortment of some colored papers. And so what I'm going to ask you to do right now is find a pencil, a pair of scissors. You may want to use a ruler, and I also tried to think of some ways to make a square. I grabbed a stack of Post-its. This will make the smallest lighthouse top that you would want, but you can also make it a little bit bigger in a way that I'm going to show you right now using your paper. So if you find one of these that's a rectangle, this is a neat trick that you can do to make a square that you might already know. So here we go. What you're going to want to do is you are going to want to take this rectangle and make it into a square. The easiest way to do that is to take one of the corners, fold it down until it reaches the bottom. You don't want to crease it, you just want to line it up and hold it there really well. Now I'm going to turn it around and kind of holding down the paper right here, I've made myself a really nice straight edge. I'm going to take my pencil and I am going to very carefully draw along that edge. Then you'll see it made a square if I cut off that part right there, which is exactly what I'm going to do. All right, now I'm going to take this and I am going to fold this in half. Now, at any point in this video, if you feel like, oh, she's going too fast, pause it. That's okay. This is how we're going to divide this into two parts to make the top and bottom of the lighthouse. So fold this in half. And you'll see that I'm working on the back of the paper. I'm going to do all my writing and everything on the back of this. All right, I've got myself a nice little fold line right there. You could either trace that with your pencil, so it's easier to see. Look what I do. I just put it in my palm, bend it like a taco, take the pencil, just go straight down, and now I have a visible line right there that's easier to see to cut on. It doesn't have to be really dark. It just needs to be visible. All right, great. Hey, look at that. Remember that first one? So I guess if I mess up, I have a backup. That's always nice. One of these is going to be the top. One of these is going to be the bottom. Let's start with the bottom one because that one's easier. Now, if you think about from the bottom to the top of this part, what that is this, the bottom to the top. Looking at my particular paper right here, that is twice as tall as this right here. So I'm going to make an artist choice. And I know you don't have that to compare to, but you can just simply look at it and say, whoa, that would be a really big bottom on the bottom of my lighthouse. You might love that, or you might say, nope, I don't like that. But before you start, turn your papers over. Take a look at the design that you have. Decide which one you want to use. Ooh, that's kind of cool. That turned out different, right? So I am going to use, let's see, this one right here. I will fold this one so that the line is going to be right there. Now I could just fold it because I can see my design. And if I'm worried about getting it nice and even, I line up the folding edge to the edge underneath it. If I get it really exact, then it should look okay. Again, and do my little trick. You might even want to cut it on this side just so I can see it really well. Or you could have just cut it without folding at all. It's whatever you're comfortable with. I can save this later for part of my boat. Neat. Now, here's the easiest thing you can do. You ready? All I want to do is just make a little angled edge on there. You see this little angled corner right there? Here's how you do that. If you'd like it to be nice and simple that way, to make it match on both sides, you just fold it in half. Don't even crease it. And you'll just cut to the halfway point. So here's what that means. If you thought of like halfway between top and bottom, that is where your cutting would stop. Open it up. I got the bottom of my lighthouse. See, that was easy, right? Done. Done and done. That looks like it would be really big for the top, doesn't it? Now, you could leave it like that. I might choose, because I have two nice sized diamonds right here, to just cut off these top diamonds. And you might want to watch first before you make any decisions about what you're going to cut. Because I'm going to show you how to make this top of a lighthouse. Now there are so many, right? If you have a photo of one and you want to make it a little bit different, then that's absolutely fine. Now look at how wide this is from here to here. And then look at how wide this is from here to here. Obviously this is much more narrow than this. So if I like this look, I would take my paper, fold it, and then cut some off so that it would make it more narrow. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to cut off about 1/2 inch. So now that will end up being smaller on the top. Okay, now let's make it look good. Fold your paper in half so that whatever you do on one side is going to be equal. Here's the fold. Put a star or something, a dot, by the fold so you don't accidentally draw from the side that has the fold, or you'll end up with your top of your lighthouse in two different pieces. You're going to draw the edge outside of the lighthouse from the outside edge of the paper. And the fold is the middle of the lighthouse top. So here we go. I like the idea of it having a straight line here. Then this is the back, so I can choose however I want to do this. Actually, I might do this on the other side. Might be easier. Okay. I do a nice angle that goes up. I can go all the way to the top, just like that. So see, that's going to be half. Where the fold is the middle. That's what it looks like so far. If I like the circle on the top, you can't make the bottom of the circle right here, or when you cut, there will be nothing there to hold the circle on. So what you have to do is you make it, but the circle connects right there. And you want to make sure that your line of the circle is still kind of aiming up when it gets here. Don't make it come down or you'll end up with a heart. And if you like that, then great. When I cut this, it's important to not cut underneath the circle. So let's cut this out and see what it looks like. Be really careful when you're cutting this part. You don't want to cut the circle. Okay. Save your scraps. You might use them for things later. Oh, that turned out pretty cool. Look at that. That's right on the middle. All right. So that is going to be what the lighthouse is going to look like. Now, I'm sure you saw this and you thought, oh, those lines, up and down lines in the railing of the fence that kind of goes around the top, that looks so cool. We're gonna put those in later, not today. That's a different day because you have to wait till the glue's dry. And you may want to put in a lens after you watch the video about how they use different lenses inside lighthouses. Okay, so what do? What's next? You're gonna take your parts, take your scraps and keep them. Do not throw any of those away. You might want them later for signs, decorations, part of your lighthouse, all kinds of things. We're gonna zoom out here so you can see what to do next. Okay, let's glue this on. Are you ready? Find your glue. And the first one's easy. Take the bottom. Just line it up. Make sure that it is even on both sides. So a little bit there of the flat, a little bit there. Some tricks that I like to use is I'll hold it right there and just hold a little bit up with my finger. Don't put it real close to the edge and don't put a ton of glue on it. You just need a little. Here we go. I got one side. There's the other side. Nice. And then you want to glue the top of your lighthouse on at least like 3 inches above. Don't make it hit the top of your paper. That would be a little too much, right? But this is a good height. For this guy, it's best just to, whoa, not drop it. Just put a little glue. Just a little. It's better to have a little. And hey, remember that stack of Post-it earlier? Remember this? Check it out. I'm gonna use it as a little trick. I line it up so that same amount of space is on one side and the other. And now I glue this right on top of the Post-it. Not literally on the Post-it, but sitting above it. Isn't that cool? Take that away and it's a great amount of height. I measured, these are exactly 3-inch square. So if you like it that high up, that gives you room to do the glass windows and then a railing right there, and you'll still have plenty of space right here to see your lens later. So there you go. That is how you do the top of your lighthouse.